Hard magic system. A hard magic system is one where the rules are clearly defined, the limitations are explicit, and both the characters and the audience understand exactly what is and isn't possible. Brandon Sanderson, a well-known architect of this approach. In his Mistborn series, characters swallow metals and burn them to produce specific, predictable effects. Pewter enhances physical strength. Tin sharpens the senses. Each metal does exactly one thing, and the cost of using it is the metal itself, which runs out. Hunter x Hunter illustrates this too through its Nen system. Every person in that world has a life energy called aura, and it falls into one of 6 categories, each with defined strengths and inherent weaknesses against the others. The system even has a built-in balancing mechanism called Zetsu, which cuts off aura output entirely, leaving a user vulnerable but completely undetectable. What makes Nen particularly compelling as a hard magic system is the limitations and vows mechanic. A user can voluntarily impose strict conditions on their own ability, and the more painful or restrictive the condition, the more powerful the technique becomes. Because the rules are so precise, hard magic can be used to solve problems logically, almost like a puzzle. The reader can follow the reasoning and feel the satisfaction when a character outsmarts an enemy using nothing but the established mechanics. The more you understand the rules, the more invested you become because you know when someone is playing fair and when they're being genuinely clever. Soft magic system. A soft magic system operates on mystery. The rules, if they exist at all, are never fully explained to the audience. Power feels ancient, unknowable, and larger than any single character's understanding of it. Tolkien's work is the clearest example. In Middle-earth, Gandalf has power, but you never get a breakdown of what it costs him or what its exact limits are. The magic serves the story atmospherically rather than mechanically. This approach works particularly well in stories where magic is not the main focus. In Game of Thrones, sorcery exists, but it lingers in the background. The danger of a soft magic system is that it can feel like cheating if a character escapes a problem through power that was never foreshadowed. Done well, however, it gives a story a mythological weight that makes the world feel vast and unknowable. Cultivation system. The cultivation system comes almost entirely from Chinese fiction, particularly the genre known as shanxia, which translates roughly to immortal heroes. The core idea is that power is earned through incremental progression. A practitioner absorbs spiritual energy from the world around them, refines it through meditation and combat, and advances through clearly ranked stages, each one granting greater strength, speed, and longevity. The genre has roots in Taoist philosophy, where internal cultivation of qi was seen as a path toward harmony and transcendence. In fiction, that philosophy became a competitive hierarchy. Works like Cultivation Chat Group and Reverend Insanity turned the concept into full narrative engines, where the entire story is structured around a character climbing a ladder of power, with increasingly stronger foes introduced at different phases. What makes cultivation systems compelling is the combination of earned progress and cosmic scale, as well as the constant aura farming. Characters are working towards something that feels genuinely transcendent, even if the road there takes 1,000 chapters. Inherited system. An inherited power system makes ability a matter of birth. This creates an immediate social architecture within any story that uses it. Those born with power form one class, those without form another. Most people are born with a quirk, a unique superpower that manifests in early childhood and is shaped by genetics. A child born to a fire user and an ice user might inherit both, or a dominant version of one, or something in between. The protagonist is Zuko Midoriya, who is born quirkless in a world where that is increasingly rare and carries genuine social stigma. He has no inherited ability, and the story treats that absence as a wound. In the X-Men universe, the mutant gene does the same work. Some people are born different. Society's response to that difference drives the entire narrative. These systems are powerful storytelling tools because they externalize something deeply human and explores the question of whether what you were born with defines what you are. Pure martial system. A pure martial system grants no supernatural ability whatsoever. There is only the human body, pushed as far as discipline and pain will allow. Hajime no Ippo builds an entire career out of a teenager learning to box, where progress is measured in calluses and sparring sessions rather than power levels. What makes this system compelling is its honesty. The ceiling is real. The body breaks down. Recovery takes time. A character cannot train their way past human biology, and that limitation gives every fight genuine stakes. When someone wins in a pure martial system, there is no magical explanation. They simply prepared more, hurt more, and refused to stop.
If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to the channel.
Supernatural contract system. A supernatural contract system grants power through a formal agreement with an entity that exists outside normal human limits, usually a demon, deity, spirit, or cosmic force. The exchange is always the point. You receive something extraordinary, and something extraordinary is taken in return. Faustian bargains in European folklore established the template, and fiction has been working through variations ever since. In Puella Magi Madoka Magica, girls make wishes to a seemingly benevolent creature and receive magical power in exchange, only to discover the true cost is hidden inside the contract's fine print. The horror of these systems comes from asymmetry. The entity offering the deal always understands it better than the person accepting. What makes this system so enduring is its moral weight. It asks what a person is willing to trade, and then forces them to live with the answer. Elemental system. Elemental systems divide power along the lines of nature itself, usually fire, water, earth, and air, though many variations exist. The premise is ancient, traceable to Greek and Chinese philosophy, where the world was understood as built from fundamental substances that could be controlled by those with the right gift or training. In Avatar, The Last Airbender, each element in that world is tied to a physical force and a culture. Firebending draws from inner drive and aggression. Earthbending requires patience and resistance. Elemental systems are popular because they feel intuitive. Most audiences already have emotional and symbolic associations with fire, water, and earth, which means a writer can layer meaning onto combat without explaining it. When a character fights with fire, you already feel something before a single rule is explained. Aura and life force system. An aura and life force system ties power directly to the vital energy within a living body. Characters don't draw from external sources or ancient artifacts. Their strength comes from within. Dragon Ball is the most globally recognized version of this. Ki in that series is the energy of life itself, trained and released as physical force. The harder a character trains, the more they can generate and control. Fights are not just tactical, they are visceral tests of will and endurance. A similar logic appears in Naruto with chakra, where physical and spiritual energy are combined and shaped into specific techniques. What distinguishes these systems is their intimate connection to the character's body and psychology. When a character pushes past their limit, it carries genuine dramatic weight because you understand what it is costing them. Technology as power system. Some fictional worlds don't separate science and magic at all. The power system is simply technology pushed far enough beyond the present that it functions as a stand-in for the supernatural. Iron Man's armor is the obvious example. Tony Stark has no innate ability. What he has is engineering genius and the resources to build tools that make him competitive with gods and monsters. The rules of his power are the rules of his technology. It can run out of power. It can be destroyed. The limitation is physics, or at least a version of it. Cyberpunk fiction takes this further, where characters modify their own bodies with hardware, blurring the line between human ability and manufactured augmentation. What makes technology-based power systems interesting is their relationship to accessibility. In theory, anyone could build what Tony Stark built. The system is not gated by mystical powers, but by intelligence and resources, which raises its own set of questions about who actually gets to be powerful and why. Progression system. A progression system is one where power advances through measurable, quantifiable steps, and the character is almost always aware of exactly where they stand. Experience points accumulate. Levels increase, stats are visible, sometimes literally displayed in glowing menus that float in the air before the character's eyes. This specific variant, where the protagonist receives a game-like interface overlaid onto a real world, is called a system, and it has become one of the defining features of modern web novel culture. In solo leveling, Sung Jin-woo begins as the weakest hunter in a world full of monsters and dungeons, receives a mysterious system after a near-death experience, and begins climbing in strength through quests and kills that reward him with stat points he can allocate himself. Progress is visible. Every fight moves the needle. The audience tracks the numbers alongside the character, and each level gained carries the satisfaction. The system variant also introduces an external intelligence, the interface itself, which sometimes issues quests and behaves like a game master with its own agenda. This adds a layer of mystery beneath the mechanical surface.
If you enjoy this video, Please like and subscribe to the channel.